So today I got a Joycon from a customer. Looks like the R button switch. It's a little tactile button. Got ripped off. Um, he was doing a shell swap, and this can be difficult, especially if you've never taken electronics apart before. So it's understandable. We're going to see what we can do to fix this and get the shell all swapped out. So I'm going to go ahead and finish taking this board out, and then we're going to take a look under the microscope and see what's going on with this board and if we can fix it. So it looks like we have good news and bad news. The bad news is it looks like all three of the pads here are ripped. Good news is that these grounding pads on the side here are completely intact. I'm going to have to check with the multimeter, but I think these two outer pads are connected, so as long as we get one of those, we should be fine. And then this is lifting up, so we may need to find another spot for that. I'm going to pull up my board diagram that I have written out, and then we're going to figure out where we need to get those wires. So first I'm going to clean this up, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of flux, and then, oh, I just got some new flux. So let's yeah, those are completely gone. I'm get my braid, and we'll get that solder off the grounding pads. Okay. Try getting another piece. That piece kind of fell apart on me. You know what? I'm having some trouble getting that off, so I'm going to add some leaded solder. Well, that should help to clean up, bring the temperature down from the factory stuff. Okay. And let's try that braid again. That's a lot better. Look at that. Cool. And I'm going to clean this off, some IPA, and then figure out what to do with that switch. I'm going to have to look at that under the microscope too to see what's going on. So I think I actually found where I can connect the R wire to. There's this little test pad right here, and we're getting a connection, and I believe this is all just grounded. Let me scrape away at this a little more and we can try to figure out where that's going. So it's looking like this outer pad, these two, they do connect together, but I do need some of this here. So I'm going to have to scrape this away. This one I can put down here, but this one needs to stay here. So I'll go ahead and add a wire, and then maybe I could just connect it on both sides. Let's clean this off. More time. And we'll add some flux and get that tinned. I'll go ahead and scrape this pad down here as well. Because this board has some enamel coating on it, so scraping that off will help quite a bit. Okay, get the soldering iron and we'll tin those. Too hot. Okay. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off one more time, and then I'll get some, we'll get the button on, and then I'll run the wires. That should be a little bit easier. So I just noticed, like, I have the button, and it still has, like, the PCB on it. So I'm just going to clean that off. And that looks good as new. Okay, let's go ahead and get this switch soldered in place, and we'll take it from there. I'm gonna put some flux. Okay. I'm actually going to flip this around. I'll have an easier grip on it. Okay, I'm getting my iron with some solder on it. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the proper position. It kind of slots in. Okay, that half looks good. I'm going to flip it around and do the other side. Alright, here we go. I'm just going to press down from the top. Cool. Looks steady. The button still clicks. And when it's in the controller itself, there's actually a piece of the plastic that sits right behind here, which gives it some structure. Okay, now we're going to move on to fixing these guys. So I'm going to add some more flux, and then we're going to tin the pads. And then we'll figure out where these are going to go to. I'm going to get a bit of an angle here so we can see. Let's see, is this still moving around? Okay, I'm going to get some wire, and we'll do the rest. I'm going to do this middle one first. Okay, that looks pretty solid. And I'm going to bring this up. Okay. I should probably just slice that off instead of trying to wiggle it. Okay, that part's done. Now I just got to connect this other pad to right here. So we'll do that next. I'm going to add a little bit more flux. Make sure everything's secure. I'm going to get some more wire. I'll be right back. All right. Make sure this is... Okay, that should be it for this repair. I think what I'm going to do, let me chop off this wire excess. I'm going to apply some UV resin just on the back after testing that this is working. Just so the button is held a little more secure in place and it doesn't go anywhere later on. So I'm going to give this a good cleaning. And then I think we'll test the button, just make sure it's working, and then we'll go from there. I'm scraping along the wire with a toothbrush just to make sure I'm not pulling any of those connections off. And that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to plug in just a little side cable, and then I'm going to push the button with the battery plugged in. If it's working, then I should see the lights blinking, like it's looking for a console. And then we'll know we're good to assemble this thing. So I just wanted to show, now if I push a button, these lights will blink normally. There's actually another problem with this. It's this ribbon cable. So I'll have to see what we can do about that. Could also be a dead... Oh, no, there it goes. So let me press the shoulder button. There we go. It's like some of the LEDs are going on and off. Sometimes if this ribbon cable is damaged, the LEDs won't work, but I can confirm that the shoulder button is working. So I'm going to just have to replace this ribbon cable, which really isn't that interesting. And then I'll assemble this all back together, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.